Finally, episode 1140 of One Piece has arrived, and guess what? Bonnie decided it was time to turn Kuma's clones into a pirate version of the Avengers, turning them against the Marines. And that's not all. Luffy is back in his Gear 5th, ready to cause real chaos, while the giant warrior pirates make a grand entrance and Saturn, with his masterful aim, decides to stab Vega Punk. What will happen next? Watch until the end to find out if the old man survives or if he finally decided to take a permanent vacation. The episode starts exactly where the previous one left off, with Egghead's destruction in full swing. The explosions are so intense that even distant ships are considering taking a tour of the area. And look, a new colossal ship is approaching the marine blockade, probably to say a very explosive hello. Back on the island, near the food machine, Luffy has had enough rest. He's eaten so much that he could have signed up for an eating contest, and in a second, he sheds all his body fat. The Marines are stunned by the speed of his digestion, as if he swallowed a gas bomb. One of them suggests that Luffy might eat them if they get any closer. And frankly, he might be right. Between Big Mom and Kaido, eating people might be a Yonko tradition, and who are we to question that? A cannon shot hits close to the Marines, taking down a crew member who was probably thinking about how to escape work. The whole area is practically on fire, all thanks to the Buster Call. They need to evacuate, but oh wait, they have to deal with Luffy too. They have one of the world's most wanted pirates at their mercy. One Marine even suggests putting this Emperor in sea stone cuff, as if that would solve the problem. But Luffy is there, all smiles and with his hair changing shape like a superhero in transformation. He's back in Gear 5th, and as expected, those Marines don't stand a chance. He takes them down before they can even finish thinking of a plan. Meanwhile, the artillery commander is there, yelling at his men to keep firing as if that would change anything, while Bonnie, Kuma, Frankie, and Atlas are falling through the air. After Kizaru turned his escape rocket into a piece of metal, Vega Punk tries to process this insane situation but decides it's time to act. Using his communicator, he calls Atlas, who is still in the air like a superhero trying to save the day. Saturn tells the pacifists to fire, and they keep charging their lasers, but the call is answered before everything turns into total chaos. Vega Punk feared this moment, thinking that Bonnie could be killed by a pacifist, a clone of her own father. It's almost like a "this could end badly" scenario. He hid a trick in his work, like a magician at a magic show. He risked his life and put a secret program in all the pacifists that uses Kuma's technology. Now, Vegapunk wants Atlas to tell Bonnie a secret that only the Vegapunks know. It's like a family revelation, but with more explosions. Sanji, seeing the situation, decides it's time to jump into action, leaping into the air as if he were in an action movie, trying to do something to help. Atlas finally reaches Bonnie and tells her the truth, but between the air pressure and the endless explosions, no one else can hear what was said. Bonnie seems to have a moment of disbelief, looking at Atlas as if she just saw a ghost. Then she screams at her father's clones as if they were the real Kuma, asking them not to shoot. "Dad, stop. Help us get out of here," she screams, and the pacifists look more confused than ever, standing there with light shining in their hands. Kind of like, is this what we do now? The Marines watching can't understand what she said, but to everyone's surprise, the cyborg giants turn around and point their palms at their Marine allies. Took them a moment to process the order, but they heard Bonnie loud and clear. Thanks to her, all the pacifists turn against the Marines. That was a twist worthy of a movie. Vegapunk placed Bonnie at the top of the pacifist authority hierarchy, elevating her above the authority of the Gorosei. It's as if she got a VIP pass to the party, Vegapunk said. Even if the world is your enemy, your father will never betray you. This could mean that Bonnie can also command the Seraphim, so who knows how many powerful allies they have now. The Marines are trembling in fear. All the pacifists are following this order, even those who are far away. They clearly have some sort of internal communication system like a WhatsApp group, but more efficient. Bonnie just gained her own army, and this is a huge defeat for the Marines and the world government. The attempts to contain Egghead are in ruins, almost entirely due to Vegapunk's betrayal. Saturn, realizing what Vegapunk did, is so furious that he looks like a pressure cooker about to explode and immediately stabs Vegapunk with his sharp demonic leg. as if he were making a meat cut. This looks like a fatal wound, and the philanthropist who has given so much to the world government might die because one of its leaders threw a tantrum. Vega Punk stammers, gasping, while Bonnie screams, shocked by what just happened to one of her father's closest friends. Frankie is there, cursing as his idol's body hits the ground, too far away to do anything. Saturn shows not a single sign of disappointment or guilt for killing the world's greatest scientist. It was about time, wasn't it? Saturn has been talking about killing Vega Punk throughout this arc, and he finally did. Is Vega Punk going to die now? Being stabbed in One Piece usually doesn't mean much unless it's a flashback, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he really dies here. All his knowledge is in the Punk records, and Atlas is still out there. An enraged Saturn then orders Kizaru to eliminate the group in the air, to kill them all immediately. Kizaru, without further hesitation, blitzes against the fighters in the sky with beams of light. Sanji and Frankie both take the hits, covered in blood, as if they were in a competition to see who can get more hurt. Sanji blocks one of the beams, but he finally gets pierced by Kizaru too. Oh boy, the hardcore fandom is going to freak out over this. Seems that in the fandom, Kizaru is more loved than Sanji, which is honestly how it should be. This still shows that Sanji must be fighting characters at Kizaru's level. I'd love to see them face off one-on-one, but this isn't the time. The Admiral approaches, a sword of light in hand, and he raises it over his head with a two-handed grip, planning a massive blow that could cut through the atmosphere. Even as he prepares to kill his former friends, Kizaru tries to apologize, saying he will kill the pair, Kuma and Bonnie, with a single blow and it won't hurt. They'll be together in death. Bonnie isn't going to thank him for that, that's for sure. But before Kizaru can deliver the attack, he hears a very familiar laugh before the Admiral can turn around. Luffy appears with a surprise attack from behind like a ninja in an action movie. A supercharged punch infused with Gear 5 Haki is enough to knock Kizaru out of the air and interrupt the attack for now. Bonnie is perplexed by the sudden attack, as if she saw a mirage. As Luffy's hand begins to stretch back to his body, Luffy is here now, still laughing and in full form. He then turns the ground into rubber with his awakened fruit powers, saving everyone who was falling. They land safely, with Kuma cushioning Bonnie's fall like a true hero. The drums of liberation echo over Egghead, and it's time to have some fun. Saturn quietly watches Luffy, shocked, as if he has seen a ghost. He is shocked because Luffy is the second coming of his Antichrist. I expected some comment from Saturn about this, but I guess not yet. We see Kizaru sitting on the ground, holding his head after being punched by Luffy. It looks like he's okay. Yes, Luffy is probably stronger than Kizaru, but Kizaru is still strong, folks. Bonnie runs to the old Vega Punk's side, urging him to get up. We're going to die if we stay here. The old man has lost a lot of blood and looks like he's ready to become a zombie. Meanwhile, in the junkyard, the sound of the drums reaches the gigantic robot, and now its eyes are fully lit up, and its engines start to purr. There's no doubt now that this old thing is awake, like a person waking up from a long sleep and wondering where they left their keys. Back on the battlefield, Bonnie has just realized what this rhythm means. She thinks back to her conversations with Kuma about the legend, the times they danced together to that same rhythm, the rhythm of the sun god. Bonnie is silent, just looking at the sky as if waiting for a miracle to happen. Vega Punk, tired and in pain, manages to confirm what she's seeing. So you didn't realize, but I wouldn't have believed it either until I witnessed it with my own eyes. That Straw Hat Luffy, which caught Kuma's attention, turns out to be Nika himself. Bonnie is left speechless, making one of the most iconic surprised expressions. What? Vegapunk continues, Kuma was right. Buster Call. What good will that do? There are people in this world who have waited centuries for it. A Buster Call is a trivial matter for someone like Nika, and it's time for some of the Sun God's allies to show up. Cut to the northeast coast of Egghead Island. The Marines report that an incredibly large ship is approaching. They recognize the Jolly Roger, probably from history class, because they thought this crew had died 100 years ago, but here they are, making a triumphant comeback. The ship is not slowing down, barreling straight towards the Marines' warships, ready to smash them to pieces by sheer force. A panicked Marine commander orders his men to fire at the newcomers, as if that would solve anything. But what could cannonballs do against giant warrior pirates? That's right. It's the co-captains Dorry and Brogy, and they're here to fetch Straw Hat Luffy. The Marines scream, "Fire! Damn it! Why are the giant warrior pirates here?" And the Giants give the best answer. Brogy says, "Look at them, Dorry." They ask, "Why are we here?" And Dorry replies, "What a stupid question. There are no coincidences in this world, right, Brogy?" Brogy then shouts, "We're here for you, Straw Hat." And Dorry adds, "The sun god." Oh my god, what a satisfying and thrilling episode of One Piece. Every Buster Call has always included friendly giants. Between the pacifists and the giants, the Marines are running out of ships for this Buster Call. And how did they know? Remember the last time we saw them? After Shanks defeated Kid, Dorry and Brogy gave him a light hit and took out the rest of Kid's pirates. They were furious that Kid even threatened to attack Elbaf in the first place. After that, they must have talked to Shanks. And Shanks probably said, "Yeah, Luffy, he awakened his devil fruit. He's Nika now." And they were like, "Nika, we all know him." Before, no one knew Nika. Joy Boy was probably a giant or a buccaneer, so it's understandable that the giants know him, but still, they could have realized this in Little Garden. Oh, this rubbery quality is exactly like Nika's fruit. But I guess they needed confirmation of the awakening. And now this is going to be the bridge to Elbaf, the next major arc. Let's see Loki, the Prince of Elbaf. Saul is probably there, the man marked by flames who can lead them to the final Poneglyph. This is the final saga, folks. And what a great boost for the Straw Hats. An army of giants, countless pirate clones, and the legendary giant robot Egghead has been a major power increase. But the biggest problem now is still Vega Punk. Luffy promised Centauro that he would get him off the island. Now that he's so injured, it's going to be harder than ever. That was episode 1140. Bonnie's commanded clones, Luffy's Gear 5th, and the arrival of the giants are pure adrenaline, but Vega Punk is in a critical situation. This summary got you excited? Hit the like button and comment 1141 below to spread it to more One Piece fans. That will speed up the next one. Subscribe to keep the excitement alive, and we'll see you next time.